So Loki got banned this game by the other team. And wow, I don't even have my Lord Loki yet in this gameplay. So I'm gonna go with Cloak because we have an Ultron on our team. And Ultron, he's good, but if you're a tank, you know you do not like Ultron. Because if your health gets down to a critical level, he's not gonna be able to keep you alive. He's gonna do some healing. His drone does healing, but it takes a while. So you're gonna have to survive. You want that burst healing. You want that Cloak, that Invisible Woman, that Loki, that Rocket. You want somebody like that healing you. You do not want Ultron. I got another gameplay I'm gonna show where my own team bans Loki, which is crazy. And you know why they banned Loki? Because they wanted to play Ultron and Adam. Oh my God, that makes no sense. Give that guy a manual. What are you doing? You could still play Ultron and Adam, even if I picked Loki. You didn't have to ban Loki. That makes no sense. Wow. When you see your teammates slot in to somebody, you should not be banning that character. Because there's a lot of characters I want to ban, but if I see one of my teammates slot in, especially if they have a Lord icon, I'm just going to ban somebody else. I mean, yeah, they might still get banned by the other team, but it's not going to be me that's tilting that. And a Lord icon doesn't always mean they're going to be good. It really doesn't. But still, if they pick that, especially in these lower ranks, people will use any excuse to throw the game, to leave the game, to quit the game. And in the lower ranks, they might only be able to play that one character. Why are you going to just encourage them to throw? When I see a Lord on the other team and they don't perform good, I like to go in the chat and be like, they give Lord to anybody these days. That seems to get people real mad, but you got to make sure that you won the game though. At the end, near the end, go into the match chat, type that in, and that makes them get angry. Now, you know what's funny is that Jeff, he actually might have gotten buffed and not nerfed. I know there's still people out there that are not happy with the changes, but the changes, it really did make him better. I'm seeing Jeff's put up bigger numbers, and even I'm using Jeff and having crazy games. I had a game where I went 40 plus. Actually, I had a couple of games 40 plus with Jeff. Don't worry, I'm gonna let those gameplays fly. You're gonna see that cheese. The only thing I don't like about Jeff is I still don't like his ult. And actually, as Loki, that's what I hate. I hate when I'm Loki and then I see a Jeff. Because that means I don't have an easy ult that I can steal, a support ult. I gotta go look for the other team and hopefully get it from there. Because I had a game where we lost. Actually, I don't think we lost because of what I did, but obviously it wasn't good. It was in overtime, and it was on that Ultron map. We were trying to go up the hill. We were stuck on the hill, and we needed to progress a lot more than right there to win the game, right? Our team is dead. It's overtime. We have one teammate still on the point, trying to fight. I spawned back in. I'm trying to get there. I use one of my clones. I push it up ahead, and then I teleport to it so I could get there a little bit faster, right? I got my ult. So as I'm getting there, my teammate is about to die. He's got a few pixels left of health. So I just have to go quickly. So I have to steal whatever I can steal. I steal the Jeff and I ult. And everybody's on the point. There's 4 of them. There's one of my teammates. He's about to die. So I ult. And guess what? As soon as I ulted and grabbed everybody, the game was over. We just lost like that. They did not even give me a second to throw out my teammate so that he would still be on the point. It just ended immediately. And I was just like, oh my God. And I know my teammates were mad. They were probably mad at me. Like, what did you do? Why would you do that? So I don't think we lost just because of that, because basically the game was about to be over anyway. But ever since that happened, I'm never stealing another Jeff ult again with Loki. I'm just not doing it. So if you see a Loki on your team and then you pick Jeff or you pick Ultron, that's not really good. You need an Invisible Woman or a Cloak or a Luna, even a Rocket. I'd rather steal a Rocket ult than have to steal one of those other ones. See, this is a team game, and even composition like that could determine whether your team wins or loses. If you have a good ult that Loki can steal. It really does, because if the other team has a Loki as well and they got Luna or whatever, then they can double up the Luna. They can go 24 seconds. They got a shot clock of invincibility, And then over here, you got this Jeff ult and this Ultron ult. They're just not as good. So see, sometimes your team can sell like that. There's a lot of ways you can sell a game. Now, what I really like about this game, and I'm actually impressed because this is a free-to-play game, but they have a record of every game you play. It's amazing. The playback feature, the theater mode, whatever they call it, it works. Because I remember in Black Ops 6, last year I played it, I couldn't get that to work. When you would try to look at a game that you played, it would never work. So maybe they fixed it, maybe they patched it. But in this game, because I'm studying now, I go back all the time and watch games to see different points of view. And I'm learning a lot because I saw on one of the maps, I saw somebody get up to an area without using a cooldown movement ability. They just jumped on this and then that and then that, and then they got up there and I was like, wow, I didn't know you could do that. So I'm learning a lot from theater mode in this game. And it's crazy because think about this. Every game that has ever been played, there's a record of it. There's a ID number for that game and they still have it there. How do they have all of that hard drive space for all of these games? Think about all the games that happen every day, because when you save a game and you put it in your favorites, it does say that in future updates, they might get rid of it. This one might be outdated, but so far, even the older games that I've saved, they're still there. So I don't know how they have the server space, how that works. And in a game like Black Ops 6, that's a crazy company. They got hella money and it wasn't working. So I'm actually really impressed with how well this system works. And I think I'm gonna start using it because with those other games, I would never want to use that or rely on that. Because maybe you had a game and because that's the thing is a lot of times I like to go in there and it'll show you highlights from a game. Maybe there was a game where you didn't realize you had a highlight. You didn't save it. You didn't think about it. But then you look at the highlight, you got a quad or you got a 5-piece and they have it there. So then you could go back and look at that game again if you want to, see all the different point of views. There's a lot of options. So I'm very impressed with how they're able to do that with a free-to-play game. Another thing I really like about this game is that you can save settings for characters per character. Like this weird reticle that I'm using. I really made this for Loki because Loki, he has a projectile. It's not hit scan and you really just want to hit the feet of your teammates and enemies. Ever since I've switched to this with Loki, I've been able to get some crazy healing and damage from a distance. It's really been working out. But you don't really want to use this on other characters. So now that I know, oh, you could just save this per character. Because this, it does work for Loki, and it also works for tanks because you're doing close range attacks. Like when I use Venom, I get hella headshots with this reticle. I don't know why, but without this reticle, I'm not hearing that critical hit sound. But when I have this with Venom, it's just like, it's making that sound nonstop. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch this though, because if I use somebody like Punisher or Hela, it doesn't really work. You're missing hella shots. It's not really good. So now that I know, okay, you can switch this per character, I'm gonna go in there and do that and put the other one back. Actually, I think it's better to make a reticle that doesn't have the circle, just the little dot, because that other circle that's on the default, you don't really need that. That kind of gets in the way of the view of what you're shooting, because when you're using somebody like Hela, you just want to get as close as possible to being right in the center, and then she does hella damage. I've got to start practicing with Duelist again, because it's funny, as you're going up the ranks now, in the higher lobbies, people, they don't have the same egos that they do in the lower lobbies. And one thing that I do now is I check the scoreboard often, not really to see what I'm doing, not my stats. I'm just trying to see all the heroes that everybody's using, because you would be surprised. I was in a game the other day. I was in a diamond lobby game, and we had 4 strategists at one point. We actually had the Duelist. They switched off of Duelist to go to a strategist. And I was like, wow. Because they never do that in the lower ranks. They are stubborn. You see that Spider-Man going negative, that Magic, that Black Panther, that Squirrel Girl, they just stay on that character for the whole game. You get in the chat and tell them, can you please switch? Usually people don't say it that nicely though. Usually they say, Star-Lord, you're trash, switch. And I've recently enabled the voice chat so I can hear my teammates. You're gonna see in future videos, you'll be able to see the voice chat icon is up, even though I might not be talking, but I want to hear what they're saying. And they are really going off at some of these duelists. They're trying to get them to switch, and they refuse to switch. So in that diamond lobby, when I see that both of the duelists, they switched off to go to healer, I was like, what? I've never seen that before. So now, and in that game, I actually did go up. I switched to a tank because I really only play tank or strategist. I never really get to play the duelist because usually everybody's insta-locking. But now that I'm seeing that change in the higher lobbies, that's very interesting. I need to practice the duelist again because it might be my turn to go out there and slice and dice. And another setting that has really worked for me is to change the enemy, their glow, to that yellow color. Instead of it being red, it's so much easier to see because on some of these maps, the red, it kind of blends in. But now with the yellow, you can clearly see where all the enemies are. So I really like the yellow. So this free-to-play game, it's got a lot of features. And I saw that they recently brought back some older skins. Some very good skins too. But people are split as to whether or not they're happy that they brought it back. So I talked about this before, how Captain America, they had this crazy galactic skin. It doesn't look anything like Captain America, but it came out a long time ago and they brought that back along with some of the other ones that were pretty good. There's a magic skin in there that's crazy, a Venom. So people, when they announced this on Twitter, when they put the post up on X, people in the comment section were split. Some people were like, yes, they're bringing it back. And then some people were like, that ruins it. Because you said it was exclusive. You said it was going away. That's the only reason why I bought it. You can't bring this stuff back. It's got to be exclusive, baby. And it's just like Fortnite, because I think Fortnite did something similar as well, where they had some exclusive skins early on, and then they brought it back, and people were furious. For me, I don't really care. I don't see what the big deal is, because I wasn't even playing the game back then when those skins came out. So now that they brought it back, that's an opportunity to get those skins, right? If I like those skins and I want those skins, I can go get them. I don't see what the problem is. It's a free-to-play game. They got to make money somehow. If they calculated, hey, we're going to make a lot of money if we bring back these skins because people really love them and not everyone had a chance to get them, hey, I say let it fly, because I've seen rumors where they're saying that this game is not doing that good. They're saying that the player count is dropping, and that's why going forward, they're going to have a new character every month instead of every 2 months or whatever it was. And now they're going to shorten the season from 3 months to 2 months. They're going to try to do a lot more to get more characters out here. Because the thing is, with these free-to-play games, if they don't make enough money, they're going to go away. Because I remember there was a Ubisoft game. I think it was called X Defiant or something. It was a shooter. And that game, it disappeared. I think it's gone already. Because I remember last year, they said it was going to go away this year, maybe in the summer. So it might have closed down already. So if this game is not doing good, they might pack this up and get it up out of there. Obviously, they need to work on the matchmaking. And I think that's really what they should do. Put placements or do something. Because that will keep people playing the game. I think a lot of people are leaving because they're frustrated with that. Because a lot of times when somebody quits, I look at their history after the game to see, like, do they quit a lot? And they do. Some of these people are, that's another thing. They need to punish these people for quitting. There needs to be a real punishment. In ranked and competitive, you can't be out here quitting, leaving your team like that. They got to do something about that. But if this game fails, it is going to be their fault. It's because really, this matchmaking and ranking system makes no sense. So it would be their fault if they mess this up. It's all on them. But I don't really care about them bringing back skins. Even if it's for a limited time, like this one's going to go away. All those skins they brought back in a week is going to go away again. But they might bring it back again. You never know. They might let it fly again when it comes to wintertime. Make that money one more time. Get those whales, or maybe not even whales. Maybe you just like one of them. You say, you know what? I like that skin. I'm going to cop it. I like this game. I'm having fun. I'm going to cop it. What a game. Actually, Rocket got the MVP in this one. He had a lot of final hits. That's crazy. You don't really see too many Rocket MVPs out here. He was beasting and feasting. We're on a 3-game winning streak, and we're still in the platinum ranks in this gameplay right here. Give that guy a map. Merch is now available at chrissmooth.com, shipping worldwide. My songs, He Quit the Game, Lob City, and My Camo are now available on all streaming platforms. But look what I'm gonna do to that. I'm gonna block that dunk. Get that cheese out of here. When I did that, I said, all right, Cap might be the character for me. What rhymes with cash? I just put Doctor Strange to the floor.